Okay, we are moving to section number 2, question number 2. This is relating to throughput accounting. We'll read the question very carefully, then highlight what are the important information, then we will attempt to the question. Edmund Containers Private Limited ECL manufacture two varieties of industrial containers. They are standard and premium. Underline standard and premium. Those are the two products. That means two type of containers they are producing. Both varieties go through the same production process, and for any given month the maximum production hours available is 1000 hours. Okay, any given month, the maximum production hours available only 1000 hours. Okay, underline, that is important. The number of production hours required to complete one standard container is 2 hours and one premium container is 2.5 hours. Okay, we will quickly summarize. Maximum hours. Maximum production hours available 1000 hours. There are two type of product we are producing, standard and premium. Standard, premium, those are the two products. Standard require 2 hours per unit. 2 hours per unit. Premium required 2.5 hours per unit. Okay, that is the arrangement. Currently, ECL runs its production at the product mix that maximizes the monthly net profit. That means they are running at the optimal product mix. The following additional details are also available. Additional details. ECL has received a new customer order for a new variety called customized containers, where the deliveries are expected to start from next month. One customized container will require 3 production hours. Okay, 3 production hours are required to manufacture customized containers. Okay, that is the proposal. The proposal to produce customized containers, 3 hours. Remember, this is the proposal, the new offer. The following table summarizes the production and sales data for standard, premium containers and normal product mix. Okay, normal product mix data is standard and premium is the normal product mix. Customized is the proposed new product, but remember, maximum available time per month restricted to 1000 hours. Only 1000 hours are available. While using these 1000 hours, you have to determine what should be the optimal product mix. That means product mix which maximize overall contribution. Or either you can say you have to select the product mix, you have to rank the product mix based on highest contribution per limiting factor. We will see. Those information being provided: selling price, material cost, variable production cost, contribution per container also being given. The total fixed production overhead cost for the month is 700,000. Okay. Calculate the current maximum net profit earned by ECL. And remember, maximum demand for standard and premium also given 400 units and 240. 400 units and 240 units. Those are the maximum monthly demand for the current product mix. But remember, if we use 2 hours per each unit and 2.5 for each premium unit, then this 1000 hours may not be required. You have to determine the optimal product mix. Based on that, you can calculate current profitability based on current product mix without looking at customized product range. Okay. With having this idea, now we are going to calculate optimal product mix. 4 marks being given. Now you have to think about marginal costing principle. when we are going to analyze limiting factor analysis under marginal costing principle, you have to determine the optimal product mix based on the highest contribution per limiting factor. The month available 1000 hours production hours are the limiting factor. Therefore, you have to decide optimal product mix based on the highest contribution per limiting factor. Okay, there are two current product mix, standard and premium. Standard and premium. Standard and premium. Okay, no need to selling price, material cost, variable production cost, contribution per unit also being given. Okay, I will take contribution per unit or container. Contribution per unit. I will take container. Contribution per unit. Standard container, the contribution per unit is 3000. Okay, premium contribution per unit 4000. By looking at this absolute figure, you can't say premium is giving highest contribution. Therefore, it should be given priority. You can't decide immediately. Why? The resource consumption is different standard to premium. We'll look at contribution per limiting factor 3000, contribution per unit 3000 and 4000, production hours per unit. This production hours are we call limiting factor. Limiting factor. Limiting factor. Production hours per unit. Standard, as I said earlier, 2 hours required. 2 hours. Premium, it will be 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours. Therefore, contribution per unit is given. This is the production hours per unit. These are the limiting factors. Utilization of limiting factors per unit. Now, you have to calculate contribution per limiting factor. You will get a contribution of 3000 for using 2 hours of production. Okay, 2 production hours, which is a limited resource. Therefore, you have to calculate contribution per limiting factor. Contribution per limiting factor. Contribution per limiting factor. You can earn 3000 for using 2 production hours. That means you will earn 1500 per production hour as a contribution. 1500. Premium, you will earn 4000 if you use 2.5 hours per unit. Therefore, hourly contribution is how much? 4000 divided by 2.5 hours, it should be 1600. Okay, by looking at contribution per limiting factor, which product should be given priority? Because anyway, the total available time of 1000 hours may not be sufficient. You can even calculate 400 unit of standard required 2 hours each, 800 hours. 240 is the total demand, 240 into 2.5 mean again 480 plus 600, altogether 1400 hours required, but only available 1000 hours. Therefore, now you have determined ranking. You should give the priority for the product which gives highest contribution. Therefore, I will give the priority for premium. Then if resource available, I will produce standard. Okay. This is the product ranking. We should give priority for premium, then if resource available, we have to give priority for standard. Okay, now we will prepare production plan. Okay, I will prepare the production plan. Production plan. Production plan. Total limited resource, limited production hours available. It will be 1000 hours. Total limited production hours available 1000. You will give the priority, first priority to premium, first production. First production. You will manufacture premium containers. Maximum demand 240 containers. 250 containers. Each will use how many hours? 2.5 hours. 240 into 2.5 hours. It should be 600 hours. You should use 600 hours to produce premium containers. Full production of premium. Balance. There will be a balance 400 hours. 400 hours. Is it sufficient to manufacture how many units of standard? Standard monthly demand, maximum monthly demand is 400. Okay. But monthly demand, even though monthly demand 400, you don't have any capacity to produce it. Why? 400 into 2 hours, it requires 800 hours, but only available 400 hours. Therefore, you can't produce entire demand for standard containers. Therefore, balance will be allocated to standard product. Balance allocated to standard product. 400 hours available, each require 2 hours. That means you will manufacture 200 units of standard, 200 units. Then you will use 200 units produced, then 400 hours will be utilized. That means resources will be fully utilized. Now you have the product mix. Okay. Optimal current product mix. Optimal current product mix. This is the current operating level product mix. Standard 200 units. We will calculate the profitability as well. 200 units. Their contribution per unit is 3000. Therefore, 200 units into 3000. Value should be 600,000. 600,000. Then premium 240 units. 240 units. Each will give 4,000 as a contribution. 4,000 as a contribution. Then what would be the total contribution then? 4,000 into 240, it should be 960,000. That we can take the total contribution, total contribution 600,000 plus 960, 1,560,000. 1,560,000 is the total contribution. It asks about the current maximum net profit. This is the optimal product mix. This is the optimal contribution. To get the optimal profit, you need to deduct fixed production cost or fixed production overhead. Fixed production overhead. It is 700,000. After deduction of fixed production overhead, this is the final answer. Maximum net profit. Maximum net profit or optimal profit based on optimal product mix at the current level is 860,000. 860,000. That is the answer for part A. This is the answer for part A of question number 2 we are in. Okay. Now you have obtained 4 marks. It says calculate. You have to look at about the action verbs. In action verb, calculate mean or compute mean, it related to tier 2 comprehension level. That means you have to make a mathematical computation to prove it. Okay. Therefore, here it asks to calculate. That means you have to ask to compute the current profit. That is a specific answer. Current level of profit is 860,000. Okay, that's how we can work it out. Part B of question number 2. Part B. We'll see what it says. Okay, the factory manager has refused to accept the order for the customized containers, stating that production hours is a bottleneck resource to ECL and the contribution generated by the customized containers is lower than. Okay, if you look at the given table, the contribution per container is given 3,900 for customized container, premium only 4,000, standard 3,000. Okay, customer can lower than the contribution generated by the premium containers. However, ECL's finance team has decided to ascertain the profit maximizing monthly product mix based on throughput accounting principle. Okay, this new product mix will be applied from next month onwards. Okay, now you need to assess whether this customer order should be accepted or not. When you are going to do that, can you remember in throughput accounting, in marginal costing, when we are going to calculate contribution per unit, what we have done, we have deduct all the variable selling price minus variable cost to get the contribution per unit. But remember, in throughput accounting, when we are going to calculate contribution per unit, what we are going to do? We are going to deduct only direct material cost. Under throughput accounting, we assume that the only variable cost is direct material only. All other cost, even now when you are going to calculate variable production overhead and fixed product, all other cost we considered as fixed, they known as total factory cost or total conversion cost. Therefore, they need to be considered as fixed. Now what we have to do, assess whether the new customer order should be accepted. That is the number one. We need to assess whether new customer order should be accepted or not. Therefore, when we are going to do that, first we have to calculate their throughput accounting ratio and decide what is the optimal product mix, or whether your new product customized containers can be selected, whether it will be selected into the optimal product mix. Okay. When we are going to do that, first we need to rank the products. How we are going to rank the product? Based on the contribution per limiting factor or contribution per bottleneck resource. The bottleneck resource refer the same meaning of limited resource. That means bottleneck mean the resource which restrict organizational throughput. Therefore, here the organizational throughput is production hours. Okay. First we have to decide throughput contribution. Thereafter, you need to decide what is the production plan. Based on that, you have to calculate profitability if you apply throughput accounting principle. Okay. Therefore, it is very important this particular section check cost management. Under the cost management, in your examination, upcoming examination, you can be tested in activity based costing. Time based activity based costing also can be checked. Here they have checked throughput accounting and marginal costing together. Okay, now we are going to assess whether this customer order should be accepted or not. When we are going to recommend, first we need to rank the product. When we are going to rank the product, what you have to do, look at what is the contribution per limiting factor or contribution per bottleneck resource. How we can do it? 3 product, standard, premium and customized. Those are the 3 products: standard, premium and customized. Their selling price per unit. Selling price per unit. Selling price per unit, standard says 10,000. 10,000. Premium selling price 15,000 per unit. Customized selling price per unit 20,000. Under throughput accounting principle, when you are going to calculate contribution, the only variable cost is material cost, direct material cost. Therefore, I will deduct the only variable cost, direct material cost per unit, direct material cost. The standard container, it is 4,600. Direct material cost. Premium, it is 8,500. Customized, it is 11,000. Okay. Sales minus direct material cost, then you can obtain throughput contribution, throughput contribution per unit. Throughput contribution per unit, 10,000 minus 4,600, standard will give 5,400 as throughput contribution. Premium, 15,000 minus 8,500, 6,500 is the contribution per unit, throughput contribution per unit. 20,000 minus 11,000, it is 9,000 per unit. Okay. Now throughput contribution per unit is there. Now you have to look at what is the contribution per bottleneck resource. These are the contribution per unit. What is your bottleneck resource? Is production hours. Bottleneck hours per unit. Bottleneck hours per unit. Bottleneck hours per unit. Standard require 2 hours. 2 hours. Premium require 2.5 hours. Customize require 3 hours. Now, if you calculate throughput contribution per bottleneck hour, that we call return per hour. We can say about it is a return per hour. If factory operate an hour, what is the return, throughput return? You will divide throughput contribution by bottleneck hours, then you can get the throughput contribution per hour, or we can call return per factory hour, return per hour. Calculate return per hour, return per bottleneck hour කියලා කිව්වොත් හරි. Return per hour, return per hour. 5,400 divided by 2 hours, return per hour should be 2,700. 2,700. 6,500 divided by 2.5, the answer should be 2,600. 2,600. 9,000 divided by 3 hours, the answer should be 3,000 per hour. 3,000. 3,000. Now you can rank the product. Ranking. Ranking. By looking at the throughput return per hour, return per factory hour, return per hour, customized containers will give the highest contribution per hour. Therefore, you should give the priority for them. Number 1. Then next priority go to standard. If resource available, you can allocate the resources to premium. This is the product ranking. Therefore, customized product should be accepted. It should be given priority. Okay. Therefore, by looking at, assess whether the new custom order should be accepted or not. That is the number 1, part 1. Part B, section 1. Whether this should be accepted or not. Yes, it should be accepted. Why? It gives the highest contribution per factory hour. Therefore, customized container order should be accepted since it gives highest contribution, highest return per factory hour, return per factory hour. Highest return per factory hour. It gives the highest return per factory hour. Therefore, we should accept this one. Okay. That is part 1 it asked to do. Okay. Part B. Assess the amount of change in net profit due to the new product mix. For that purpose, you have to determine the new product mix. No. Determine what is the new product mix. We will work out. Their maximum demand, if you go to the table, maximum demand, standard, okay, maximum demand, if you take standard, their maximum demand is 400 units. Here it is 240 units and here it is 100 units. 100 units. Those are the maximum demands. Therefore, we will prepare the production plan. Production plan. Production plan. Maximum hours available 1000. Bottleneck hour, we call bottleneck hours. Bottleneck hours 1000 hours. You will give the first production, first priority, first production to the product which gives the highest return per factory hour. Customized product will give the highest return per factory hour. Therefore, we will give the first priority. We will produce 100 units. Each require 3 hours. Therefore, first production goes to customized. Customized. Production 100. Each 3 hours are required. Then 300 hours will be utilized. 300 hours. 300 hours. Balance. Balance available 700 hours. Yes. 700 hours. Balance available 700 hours. Out of this 700 hours, the second priority goes to standard. Each require 2 hours, 2 into 400 unit, 800 hours required, but balance available only 700. Therefore, entire 700 hours will be allocated to standard. Okay, balance to standard. Standard. 700 hours remain. Each require 2 hours. Then you can produce 350 units. Then 700 will be fully utilized. 700 will be fully utilized. Then optimal product mix under throughput accounting. Optimal product mix. Optimal product mix. The standard 350 units. 350 units. Then customized. Customized how much? Customized 100 units. Customized 100 units. Now it asks to calculate new maximum profitability is how much. Okay, assess the amount of change in net profit due to the new product mix. This is the optimal product mix. This is the new product mix. New. Previous product mix, can you remember? In previous product mix was standard, premium 240, balance went to 200 units of standard. That was the current product mix. Remember, when we are going to calculate the profitability under throughput accounting, except direct material, all other cost should be considered as fixed. Okay. Now I am going to calculate the profitability. We have the contribution per unit. You can calculate total contribution or total throughput contribution. Thereafter, you have to deduct total factory cost. Even though they are variable, you have to consider them as fixed. Okay. Total throughput contribution throughput contribution standard 350 units throughput contribution. If you have worked it out, the throughput contribution, can you remember, it was there 5,400 per unit. Then take the value. The value should be 1,890,000. Then customized 100 units, each will give 9,000. Then it should be 900,000. Total throughput contribution will be 2,790,000. Total throughput contribution 2,790,000. Remember, all other costs are fixed. We call them as total factory cost. Total factory cost. Now, whether you produce 100 units of customized and 350 units of standard product, it does not matter, all other costs are fixed. That means in your variable production overhead, you have to look at what is the original level. Original level, what you have produced was 200 units of standard and 240 units of premium. Those are the current level of production, current product mix. Therefore, current level of variable production overhead will be fixed, even though you have produced customized product. Therefore, the variable production overhead also we have to assume as fixed. Variable production overhead, there are two standard existing product mix 200 units. Then not the new product mix. Current product mix 200 units. Their variable production overhead per unit is 2,400. Okay, value would be 480,000. 480,000. Then premium. Original product mix was there 240, because this is considered as fixed. Therefore, you have to look at the original variable production overhead. It should be considered as a fixed cost. It won't vary with the output. 240 was there. The value of variable production overhead 2,500. 2,500, it should be 600,000. 600,000. Not only that, there is a fixed production overhead. Anyway, it is become a fixed cost. Fixed production overhead. Fixed production overhead of 700,000. Then you can get total factory cost. Total factory cost will be 1,780,000. Then take total factory cost. We have to deduct 1,780,000. 1,780,000. That is the total factory cost. Now you can get the value here. Net profit based on throughput accounting. Net profit 2,790,000 minus 1,780,000. Answer should be 1,010,000. 1,010,000. New profit is 1,010,000. Now look at with the previous net profit. If you look at the previous net profit, your profit has gone up by how much? We have to move to the answer. If you look at the answer sheet, it's the previous profit was given 850,000. Sorry, 860,000. Now it has improved to 1,010,000. The profit has gone up by 150,000. Okay, profit has gone up by 150,000. 150,000. Profit has gone up. This is the answer for part 2. Part 2 of section B. Then final one, calculate the throughput accounting ratio for the new product mix. You have to calculate throughput accounting ratio to the new product mix. Okay, now we have the total factory cost. That means this is the total factory cost if you operate this factory for how many hours? Your bottleneck factory will be operated for 1000 hours. That is the bottleneck resource. If you operate 1000 hours, these are the total factory cost. You have to calculate total factory cost per hour. Therefore, when you are going to calculate throughput accounting ratio for each product line, what you can do, you know the return per factory hour, you have already calculated it. Return per factory hour, you have already calculated. Can you remember contribution per bottleneck hour? We have already calculated it. When you are going to calculate throughput accounting ratio, TA ratio, how to calculate it? Return per factory hour should be divided by cost per factory hour. Cost per factory hour. Cost per factory hour. How to find out the cost per factory hour? Total factory cost 1,780,000. The reason is we are operating 1000 hours per month based on the availability, that is the bottleneck resource. Production hours only available 1000 hours. Therefore, total factory cost $1,780,000, which is considered as fixed. 1,780,000. Total factory hours. 1,000 hours. 1,000 hours. Then you can easily calculate factory cost per hour. Factory cost per hour equal 1,780,000 divided by 1000. It should be 1,780 per hour. 1,780 per hour. Earlier, when you are going to determine the optimal product mix, you have calculated return per factory hour. Therefore, each product I will calculate throughput accounting ratio standard. Return per factory hour, if you go to the answer, return per factory hour was how much? Standard return per factory hour for standard was 2700. 2700. Contribution, throughput contribution per hour. Then cost per factory hour 1780. The value should be 1.517. 1.517. Anyway, we are giving the priority for the product which gives the highest throughput accounting ratio. We will look at customized. Customized. Contribution per hour was 3000. Can you remember? Total contribution was 9000 per unit divided by number of hours required per unit. Bottleneck hours 3. Then 9000 divided by 3, 3000. Factory cost per hour 1780. The answer should be 1.685. That's why we have given priority for customized. It has the highest contribution per bottleneck hour. Highest contribution per bottleneck hour. That is the answer for section 2 or so question number 2, that is related to throughput accounting and marginal costing principles. It has given 10 marks. Now first when we are going to address this particular type of question, you have to get the basic idea what it says. In throughput accounting, what it says, the only variable cost is direct material, except that all other costs should be considered as fixed. You will give the priority for the product which gives the highest contribution per bottleneck resource. Okay. That is the end of question number 2. Question number 2 we have completed. That is related to throughput accounting. Now we can move to question number 3, that is related to part of cost management. 10 marks being given. It has included, if first you have to read the question, what it asks to do there. While reading question, it is very important, then you can, while you are reading the content of the question, then it will be more useful when you are going to do the sum. Okay. Question number 3 of the paper, that is Creators Private Limited. We'll read the question now. Okay. Question number 3, Creators Private Limited is planning to develop new smartphone. Okay, they are going to develop new smartphone that will have a lifetime of 3 years. Their lifetime is 3 years. The development process would take 1 year with sales commencing at the beginning of second year. Okay, in the first year of operation, they will develop the product. Then sales will start from the second year onward with the 3-year lifespan. 3-year lifespan means sales will be there in second year, third year and fourth year. Okay, because first year is the research and product development phase. Okay, CPL applies life cycle costing for a smartphone and the estimate made for the new smartphone are given below. Okay, estimated information given below, they are applying life cycle costing principle to calculate cost of a unit. Okay, first what we need to do, when we are going to calculate cost per unit, life cycle cost per unit, how we are assessing? In a product life cycle, you have to get the total cost incurred over the life cycle should be divided against the total cost, total unit produced over the life cycle. Therefore, before moving into the illustration, in life cycle costing, we will identify 5 phases. We call design and development. Design and development phase. Design and development phase. Then we will deal with introduction phase. Introduction phase. Then next phase we call growth. There will be a growth, and then maturity phase will be there, maturity, and finally decline. In the design and development phase, first year it will take 1 year to design and develop the product. Then sales will start from the second year onwards, from the introduction, then growth, then maturity and decline. Sales. This is the time period. Okay. This is the cost. Cost or you whatever the thing, cost or units, whatever thing, sale, we call sales. Okay. Then when we are going to calculate life cycle cost per unit, අපි මේක analyze කරන්න යනකොට, what you can do, life cycle cost per unit you can calculate total cost incurred over the life cycle from design phase to decline phase. You have to take the total cost of the life cycle should be divided by total output of the life cycle. Total output life cycle. Then you can get what you can get? You can get cost per unit, life cycle cost per unit. That's how it will work. Okay. Therefore, even this life cycle costing applies product which has a shorter lifetime. The product which is in a highly competitive environment, it's a mobile phone, smartphone is a highly competitive market. New version will come in a shorter period of time. Therefore, the life cycle costing should ensure that you will recover total cost. Even you can write down your own note. Life cycle costing is suitable if you are operating in highly competitive market with the product has a shorter lifespan. If you have a shorter lifespan, then you have to recover, the selling price should enable you to recover the total cost incurred from design phase to decline phase. Generally, design and development cost, we are directly charged to PL, but here it is not. Why? Our selling price should ensure that total cost incurred over the life cycle should be covered through the selling price. Clear? With having that idea, sales and production is given from years 2 onward, 2000, 7000, 1000, total 10,000. Sales in million, okay, 24 million, 73, 9.5, 107 million. Product development cost also given 5 million. Yeah, it should be considered as a cost. Variable production cost given, fixed production cost, marketing cost. Total life cycle cost is given 108.96 million. Loss from the smartphone 1.96. Okay, while considering total life cycle cost against the total revenue of the life cycle, you will end up with a loss of 1.96 million. Okay. The above forecast was prepared by the newly recruited accountant who has not considered the learning effect in this computation. Okay, learning effect. If you perform same task again and again as a repetitive manner, when you perform the same task in the next time, the time required to perform the task will be lower than what you have spent earlier. It will reduce, because if you have been specialized, that's why I am telling, if you practice more and more questions, you get specialized. The time required to perform the next sum will be lower than what you have spent now. That's why you need to do these sums again and again. That is very important. Okay. Then the above forecast ignore the, now there's an accountant who recently recruited, he has forgot, he has ignored learning effect when he is doing this computation. You are the senior accountant of CPL. Based on the above information and discussion with the production team, you have now realized that although the first unit is expected to take 4 hours, only first unit will take 4 hours. A learning curve effect of 90% is expected to occur until 100 unit is produced. That means learning effect, 90% learning effect will be there till you produce 100 unit. Thereafter learning will be ceased. Here there's no, he has not mentioned anything thereafter. 20% of variable production cost in year 2, okay, that is 12 million there, is the estimated labor cost. Out of that 12 million, 20% is estimated labor cost. A 10% wage increase has been considered for the computation from year 3, which would remain at the level afterwards. That means labor rate will go up by 10% in year 3 and it will remain in 4th year as well. That means same rate will be there. A senior accountant of CPL, you are requested to present re-evaluated proposal to the management incorporating effect of the learning curve. The value of learning coefficient at the learning effect y equal ax power b. You might have already learned that learning curve formula. Y equal ax power b of 90% is minus 0.152. Log learning rate divided by log 2, you can get the answer minus 0.152. What you need to do? Explain the management of CPL, the learning curve effect and its impact on the production cost. How can you explain? Simple example, if you do same task again and again, assume you are doing this sum at the first time, it might take, assume 30 minutes. If you do the same task again in the next time, it will take 25 minutes. If you do it again and again, you get specialized, you know how to do it quickly. If you do it again and again, you become specialized, then your total labor requirement will reduce. The total involvement will reduce, your efficiency will go up. Then what will happen? Definitely in this particular organization, labor cost should have been fallen up to some extent. Then up to some extent the learning will cease. Here it says only learning effect only applies for first 100 units. Thereafter the time taken by 100th unit will continue. Okay, what you need to do? Explain to the management of CPL the learning curve effect and its impact on the production cost. Definitely your production cost will fall, because when labor get specialized, the labor requirement will fall. When labor requirement get reduced, your total labor cost will fall. That means your variable production cost will reduce much as possible. Okay. When labor cost is fallen, now here we have not considered the learning effect. Sometimes this might be a favorable product in order to undertake. Part B, okay, part B says assess the revised life cycle profit taking into account the effect of the learning curve. Now you have to consider learning curve effect, which has ignored previously. Based on the learning curve effect, you have to calculate revised profit or loss. Currently you have end up with a loss of 1.89 million. Definitely there will be a reduction in cost due to the learning curve effect. Okay, learning curve effect. Therefore first you have to calculate what is the current variable cost or current labor cost. First we need to work out that year 2, I am in year 2, this is question number 3, okay, year 2. Variable overhead cost is there, variable production cost 12 million, variable production cost. Variable production cost 12 million. Out of this 12 million, labor cost is 20%. Again, out of this 12 million, labor cost 20%. labor cost 20%. What would be the value? 12 million into 20%, it should be 2.4 million. Labor cost would be 2.4 million will be there. Okay. This out of this 2.4 million, you have not considered the learning curve effect. That means each unit you have assumed each will consume 4 hours. Therefore, original estimated hours in year 2, original estimated labor hours. How to calculate? You originally estimate 4 hours per unit. In second year, you have manufactured 2000 units. That means you have estimated 8000 hours. Original estimate in the second year. The cost of 8000 hours are 2.4 million. Then you can easily calculate what is the labor rate per hour. Labor rate per hour. Labor rate per hour. Labor rate will be how much? 2.4 million divided by 8000. If you divide by 8000, you can get the labor rate. Labor rate per hour 2.4 divided by 8000, 300 rupees per hour. 300. This is the year 2 labor hour rate. But question itself says third year this labor rate per hour will go up by 10%. එහෙනම් third year, year 3, labor rate 300 into 10% increment, that means 330. Also, this rate will be remain in fourth year as well. Year 4 also. Year 4. Labor rate will be same. 330. 330 labor rate per hour. Then before going to calculate the revised one, you have to calculate what is the amount you have currently recognized. Currently you estimated 4 hours per unit. Year 2 you have recognized 300 rupees per hour into 8000 hours, 2.4 million. You first you have to calculate incorrect labor cost. You have already recognized. Okay, incorrect labor cost. Incorrect labor cost. What is the incorrect labor cost? In year 2, your rate is 300. You have already found the value 300. 300 into your production, each required 4 hours. Since you are producing 2000 unit, you require 8000 hours. Your cost is 2.4 million. 2.4 million. Third year also, year 3, your rate is 330. Okay, rate 330. Again you will assume each will consume 4 hours. Actual production 7000 unit. 7000 unit. If actual production is 7000 into 330, what is the value? Value should be 9,240,000. 9,240,000. Okay. Year 4. 330 is the rate. You will assume 4 hours required each. 4th year production 1000 units. Then 4000 into 330. The value should be 1320. Sorry, 1,320,000. Okay. Then take the total. This is the labor cost you have already recognized without considering learning curve effect. The total would be how much? Take the total out of this. Total incorrect amount, total cost. Recognized already, recognized. Take the total of this. Total cost already recognized 60,000, 960,000, 12,960,000. This is the amount you have already recognized. Then what you have to do? What is the amount should be recognized after considering learning curve effect? When we are going to calculate learning curve effect, remember learning effect will be applicable only up to first 100 units. Thereafter it will cease. That means time taken by 100th unit will be continued for the remaining output, whatever the output you are going to produce over the life cycle. Now I am going to use this learning curve effect. Now I am going to consider learning effect for the variable overhead, the labor component of the variable overhead. You have to remember this formula, yx equal ax power b. Okay, up to first 100 unit, 90% learning rate will be applied. Thereafter, the time taken by 100th unit will continue. Then how to find out time taken by 100th unit? How we can find out? First we will find out time taken by first 100 units. Okay. Time taken by first 100 units. Okay. I will say y100, this is average time for 100 unit. A mean time taken by first unit. What is the time required to produce first output? It requires 4 hours. Okay. X is number of output 100. B already given minus 0.152, but you can find out B mean log learning rate, log 0.9, okay, log 0.9 divide by log 2, log 2. If you work out that, you will receive the average time first 100 unit average time 1.986 hours. 1.986 hours. Now you feel, first unit you have taken 4 hours. How it come 1.986 hours? This is the average time. Remember always, this is the average time for 100 units. This is average. Then you have to calculate what is the total time. Total time for 100 units will be 1.986 into 100, 198.6 hours. If you produce 100 units, this is the learning effect of 90%. This is the total number of hours will be used to manufacture first 100 unit. Now thereafter there is no implication that after 100 units, that means learning effect only applicable up to 100. That means learning will be ceased after any unit produced after 100. That means time taken by 100 සියවෙනි ඒකකයට ගත්ත time එකමයි ඉතිරි ඔක්කොටමත් යන්නේ. Therefore time taken by 100th unit will continue. Then how to find out time taken by 100th unit? The average time of the 100th unit. This is the time taken by 100 units. If you found the value for 99 unit if you have produced, then if you deduct the total time for 99 from the total time of 100 unit, then you can get the time taken by 100th unit. Okay, I will work out time required for 99 units. Time required for 99 units. Y99 equal time taken by first unit 4 hours, x is 99 units, log learning rate log 0.9 divided by log 2. Log 2. Your answer should be, take the answer, average time after producing 99 units, take out what is the answer. Okay, average time will be log 9 divided by log 2 into 99 by power answer into 4. Average time will be 1.989 hours. This is average. Total time into 99, 196.95. I have taken the exact figures. Hours 196.95. Okay, 196.95. Now you can see, if you produce 99 unit, total time 196.95. If you produce 100 units, the total time 198.6. 198.6. Now 99 to 100 unit, in order to increase by one output, what is the additional labor time required? Therefore, I will work out here. Okay, time taken by 100th unit equal time, total time for 100 unit will be 198.6 hours minus time required for 99 units, 196.95 hours. The answer should be how much? Approximately it is 1.65 hours. 1.65 hours. ඒ කියන්නේ in this scenario, from 1 to 100 units, it will take 198.6 hours. Anything above 100 unit, it will take, each unit take 1.65 hours per each. Anything above 100 units. Okay, now we have computed, now we will calculate the correct labor cost. Okay, in year 2 we have used 2000, we have to calculate how many hours being used, not 4 into 2000. Now we have to calculate first 100 unit, we have taken 198.6, the balance 1900 in year 2, 1.65 in remaining 1900. In third year, total output should be multiplied by 1.65 because learning will not apply the time taken by 100 unit. Hereafter, any output above 100 will take 1.65 hours each. Clear? Then with having that idea, now we will calculate correct labor cost. This is very easy. It will not take much time. Okay. We are going to calculate correct labor cost. Correct labor cost. In year 2, up to 100 units, the value already you have found 198.6 hours. Okay, 198.6 hours. Okay, the balance 1900, balance 1900 units. Then how many hours? 1900 into 1.65 each. The reason is anything above 100 unit you have to use 1.65 hours. Then 1900, 3135. 3135 hours. Total hours. Total hours 3135 plus 198.6, 333.6. Sorry, 3333.6 hours. Okay. Rate 300 per hour. Labor cost. In year 2, labor cost 3333.6 into 300. Year 2 labor cost into 300, cost would be 1,080,000. 1,080,000. Then year 3, no much hassle. Second year we have produced how many units? If you look at the output, second year we have produced 7,000 units. We have produced 7,000 units. 7,000. Therefore, 7,000 unit require how many hours? 7,000 into 1.65 each into year 3, your rate should be 330. 330. What should be the labor rate? 7,000 into 1.65 into 330, the cost should be 3,811,500. Year 4, you have produced 1,000 unit, each required 1.65, rate is 330. What is the value? 544,500. Take the total. This is the accurate labor cost. total, the correct or accurate labor cost should be total labor cost 5,356,080 total labor cost after the learning curve effect. Total labor cost 5,356,080. What we have recognized at the moment, we have recognized 12,960,000. Then your profit being understated, you have to recorrect it. You have to correct this value. What you can do now, you have to eliminate, okay, you have to eliminate incorrect labor cost, you have to add back to the profit, you have to deduct the accurate cost. Okay, we will do the reconciliation, small reconciliation. Current loss, current loss is there 1,960,000. Current loss 1,960,000. You will add what you need to add, incorrect labor cost you have to add back and you have to deduct correct labor cost. Okay, therefore I will add incorrect labor cost, incorrect labor cost 12,960,000. You will add it 12,960,000. You have to deduct or less correct labor cost, correct labor cost. Correct labor cost is 5,356,080. Okay, 5 million, I will take 5 million, you have to deduct 5,356,080. And now you can take the revised profit. Revised profit you can take 5,643,920. 5,643,920. This is the revised profit. The given answer in the abacus, they have rounded it off. There are decimal error. We have taken the exact figure. That's how this profit being arrived. Okay, you can look at the suggested solution as well. That suggested solution also, it has been provided. The total profitability will go up. Life cycle profit will be 5.5 million. This is 5.6 million due to the rounding off of this labor hours or average labor time. That is the end of question number 3 of the illustration.